Bayan,
Buyan, or even Polkan. Those could have been the names of the well-known Russian cruiser, but the Emperor Nicholas II chose the name Aurora for the armed ship, and in the year 1900 the cruiser was commissioned. In the morning of May 11th, accompanied by celebratory gunfire, the new ship was triumphantly launched.
Aurora
belongs to the first series of cruisers constructed in Russia. Before that, these warships were born only outside our country. Aurora started its journey in the presence of Emperor Nicholas II and two empresses, Maria Fedorovna and Alexandra Fedorovna. And 17 years later, the imperial cruiser became one of the main symbols of the October Revolution. For its times, Aurora was an advanced combat ship. The mechanisms of the cruiser are nearly 12,000 horsepower strong, and the maximum rate of sailing more than 19 knots, that's about 35 kilometers an hour. You can call Aurora only a cruiser or a ship. It is prohibited calling it a vessel on board, though this word is popular with the journalists. As soon as a weapon is installed on a watercraft, it becomes a ship. Therefore, military seamen do not naturally call a ship a vessel. It can be even considered offensive. It's like calling a captain of the first rank a colonel. Today, the Aurora has an honorable status, ship number 1 in the Russian Navy. But the military crew has been sharing the cruiser with civilian crew for more than 60 years. Aurora is probably the best-known Russian floating museum. Here they tell not only about the revolution. For example, this hall is devoted to the life of the lower ranks of the imperial fleet at the beginning of the 20th century. What did sailors eat back then? What did they drink and where did they sleep? The canvas mattress is filled with cork chips. Life jackets had not been invented yet, so a sailor could throw it on water and use it as rescue equipment. And the last way to use the bed. If a sailor died at sea, they threw away cork from the mattress, sewed the body into the canvas bag and buried the seaman in the sea. Seamen ate at suspended tables, letting them have peaceful breakfast or dinner even when the ship was rocking. The well-known state glass was a type of daily allowance on the fleet. They also called it the wine portion. Each sailor in a deep-sea voyage was given 123 grams of vodka daily. Still, sobriety was welcomed in the fleet. The sailor could refuse this glass, and then 5 to 8 kopecks were credited back to his account, which was actually the production price of the product at that time. And now imagine, if a ship is out at sea for half a year and the sailor keeps refusing this portion, he could save a lot of money before he returns. The Aurora underwent battle testing in May 1905 during the Tsushima battle. And after the Russian-Japanese War, the cruiser served as a training ship. The Naval College cadets went to deep-sea voyages on the Aurora after ending their studies. In the course of one of such practical or non-combat campaigns, the Russian cruiser appeared in Siam. It was in November 1911. I guess a snow-white yacht would look better there. But what we see was a fighting cruiser among palm trees. One episode of that Siamese campaign was when Aurora entered the port of Batavia. Now it is Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia. This diorama depicts St. Petersburg 1 second before the historical shot, which gave Aurora its title of Symbol of the Revolution. At 9:40 p.m., the Aurora made one and only blank shot. I emphasize it, not fire. A lot of people make this mistake. Fire must come from at least 2 guns. The one and only blank shot towards the Winter Palace. In 3 days, sailors of Aurora made a statement in the press that they had no assignment to destroy or kill anyone. They never had a task like that. The blank shot of the Aurora simply called the Revolutionary Squadron to vigilance and alert. The cruiser began serving under the St. Andrew's flag, but throughout its long history, Aurora changed clothes several times. During the revolutionary events, the usual St. Andrew's flag was replaced by a red cloth. The ship served under this flag for a long time. Seamen know that this flag means "I do battle." As a rule, a military cruiser serves about 25 years. Aurora has served much longer. When World War II began in Russia, the ship was 41 years old. This is considered a very solid age even today, but still, the Aurora took part in the Great Patriotic War. They removed tools of the main caliber from it and directed it to the forming Chutskaya flotilla. One of its tools was installed on the armored train Baltiets, which shuttled along the southern coast of the Gulf of Finland and protected our city from the coast. The cruiser defended Kronstadt against fascist artillery fire. On Dudergovsky Heights, a special-purpose battery, Aurora, was organized. Nearly 130 Aurora sailors fought ashore, and after the German advance, only 26 of them broke out of encirclement. In 1944, the Nahimov Naval Academy was established in Leningrad, and Aurora became the second home for its students. At that time, there was already a museum on the cruiser, but nevertheless, 2 senior classes lived here and were on ship's watch. We descend to the heart of Aurora, the engine room. Here, in this room, sailors, with no sun, no air, sailors went into battle, died for their motherland. In such conditions, at a temperature from about 40 to 70 degrees Celsius. Can you imagine? In southern latitudes, it was about 70 degrees in here. Here, 96 coal heavers serviced 24 boilers, the life source of Aurora. The water is here, right under the crankshaft. We have about 4 to 5 meters of water above us. Sailors in the engine room were literally detached from the rest of the world. In alarm situations, and naturally during the fights, these sliding doors were closed, and sailors servicing the machines stayed here, face to face with the steam engine. Acoustic pipes were the only means of communication with the outer world. Each pipe led to a separate battle station. Well, let's suppose a running post. How did it work? Each pipe has a stopper like this. It is a whistle. A pipe is filled with air naturally. When a person wanted to call someone from the upper station, he came here, took out the whistle, and did like this. A whistle whistled above, and people understood that someone from the third engine room wanted to communicate. Your ear against the pipe. That is how communication was organized. Phones appeared much later. Aurora was brought to life and run by coal, just like other ships of the time. Actually, these were not small pieces. It came in huge sheets. Coal heavers broke this coal with special entrenching tools and stoked a furnace with it. The coal burned, and freshly boiled water, purified as much as possible from all impurities, evaporated. What for? To set the ship in motion. When a ship as powerful as Aurora anchors, it turns into a fortress. That is why a fortress flag of Russia hangs here when the ship is anchored. Aurora is a participant of many wars and a revolution. But now it is not an October cruiser anymore. It is a monument of naval architecture, a symbol of spirit and honor of the Russian Navy. Olga Bubnova, Anton Kosolapov, TV Bricks.